Well, good morning. It's Monday morning. Time to start doing battle. It's very early in the morning, about 6:20 a.m., and it's still kind of dark out. Back in Brazil, it would be bright sunlight. The morning and it would have already begun by 6:20 a.m., but here it's still barely getting light, and it's quite chilly. This is Northern California, after all. And it's a little bit drizzly too, but you know, California always needs rain, so I would never complain about that. So I'm walking to the Social Security office. Obviously it's not open at this hour, but it's not far from my house. It's just a few blocks away. I'm a lucky guy, I guess, in that sense. But I'm not expecting much. I just want to see the information on the door. The best way to, I guess nowadays you can't just walk in. I think you have to make an appointment. I'm going to go check that out, see what they have posted on the door. I need to get an appointment as soon as possible because the time is running for the amount of time I have here in San Francisco. I'm not sure how much time I have. I don't have a return ticket. I only bought a one-way ticket, not knowing how long some of these tasks were going to take. Like Social Security, so heading there now. But it's really nice to be walking down Valencia Street, one of my favorite streets in San Francisco. Of course, everything is closed right now. Oh, here's Dog-Eared Books, one of my very favorite stores on Valencia Street. And I'll be coming down this street again later today when it's daylight and the stores are open. Aha, one of my favorite stores on Valencia Street, Paxton Gate. Where else could you get a warthog? Or a human skeleton, for that matter. Oh, and all of their animals are humanely sourced. They're roadkill. They don't go out and shoot animals to get their stuffed animals. So that's why I'm okay with the buying here. I love these skulls. I used to have lots of skulls in my San Francisco flat, and I would get them here. Never had a human skeleton though. It's just one of the many examples of the kind of unique and interesting retail stores you have in the United States, especially in a city like San Francisco, that you just don't find in the same way in Brazil. One thing I love about San Francisco, it's very much a city of neighborhoods. It's not dominated by the automobile. It's a very walkable city. It's a dense city, which I like. Lots of coffee shops, of course. Some new shops that I have opened since I was last here. Chaya, vegetarian Japanese cuisine. I really appreciate all of the vegetarian options here. I only know of 2 vegetarian restaurants in Salvador, which is a much bigger city than San Francisco. There might be more than 2, but I'm only aware of 2. Now, of course, you know, you can always find a vegetarian dish in most places. Well, not in my little city that I've been living in, San Antonio. It's very hard to be a vegetarian. You just basically have to, you know, get side dishes. But a little easier in Salvador and very, very easy here in San Francisco. And of course the Roxy Theater here on 16th and Valencia show great art house movies. Aha! And here's the Social Security office. Let's see what kind of signs they have up, discouraging us to even go in there. They've got the office hours. Appointment needed. Appointments are required for most services at Social Security offices. Please call this number to schedule your appointment. Okay, will do. And here's a very unique San Francisco site, just a block from my old house. A Buddhist temple. It was once a Lutheran church. It is now a thriving Buddhist temple. And oh, and that was where I used to go to vote. That was my polling place. Well, amigos, I'm smiling and laughing because Once again, I think I was the victim of the media. I was a victim of the media, flying here thinking I was going to be grilled at passport control, and it was absolutely the easiest time I've ever gone through customs and passport control in my life, despite all of the news reports. And then I was a victim of the media because, based on everything I'd seen in the news and read on the newspapers, that fixing my Social Security issues were going to be difficult and would take, a month or 5 weeks to get an appointment. Well, it turns out that I was able to fix everything just through a call, just by calling Social Security. They got back to me within 70 minutes, so I didn't have to wait online. They explained what I needed to do. I was able to go online, fix my account. I can do change where my Social Security is deposited online. Whoa! So take everything you see in the media with a grain of salt. It doesn't mean that it's not true, that it's not happening to people, but it was not my experience. Social Security worked well for me this time. Knock on wood, it always will. Hopefully won't have any problems. But what it means for this trip to California, I was anticipating being here 5 or 6 weeks. I thought it was going to take me a month to get into the Social Security office, get an appointment, blah, blah, blah. Obviously it hasn't. It's taken me all of an hour. The next step I have to do is to open a new bank account and get my Social Security direct deposit into that bank account. But I can do, like the lady said, over the phone. So it's turning out to be a lot easier and faster, all of this, than I anticipated. So I may be able to go back to Brazil in, I don't know, a couple of weeks. Strange. I just psychologically told myself that I was going to be here for 5 or 6 weeks, but may not need to be, which is nice. Maybe I'll stretch it out to 3 weeks. I don't know. But I'm walking on air at the moment, how easy all of this was. Again, don't be a victim of the media, including myself. So now that I've gotten that taken care of, I can relax, take a deep breath, and enjoy the rest of today without stress and worry, and enjoy being here in San Francisco. So I'm going to just keep this short. Thank you for joining me. As always, beijos, ciao.